MMA Boxing Talk here. I just wanted to make another video talking about Holloway versus Pettis. There was two things I forgot to mention in my prediction video, so this is part two. So go check out the first part if you're just listening to this now. Um, okay, so obviously, I believe one thing I didn't say is that Holloway is a bad style matchup for Pettis. I truly believe that. I didn't mention that in the first video, but Holloway isn't just a high volume striker, like I said. Holloway is aggressive and in your face, but he also has great footwork and movement, so it's a dangerous combination. It really is. Sprinkle in his great fight IQ, his better fight IQ than Pettis. It's a bad matchup. And also, this is just my opinion. If you don't agree with me, let me know in the comment section. But I feel Holloway definitely has a lot more dog in him. He's more ferocious in there, his fighting style. Where Pettis, definitely very skilled, very dangerous, but fights in a more nonchalant style. And that's just, in my opinion, another reason why Holloway's a bad matchup or style matchup for Pettis. Now, obviously, Pettis or Max Holloway isn't going to go out there and be ferocious and in your face right off the bat. He's going to feel his opponent out. He has great fight IQ, so he's not going to rush things. But it's a long fight. It's a 25-minute fight, and eventually, he's going to be continuously having that high pace in your face, slide in and out, and be evasive. I know he does get hit, Max Holloway. But when you're landing 5.5, whatever, 5.9 punches per minute, you're getting hit, but you're hitting your opponent a lot more, and he is the more mobile fighter. Pettis has lost some mobility over the years. And of course, another thing I forgot to mention is the weight cut. This is a tough weight cut for Anthony Pettis. Holloway makes this weight cut no problem. Pettis looked like shit at the last weigh-in. It was a hard weight cut for him, and I truly believe that yes, he might have an easier weight cut this time. Second time around, he knows what he's up against. He probably had obviously a nutritionist for the whole camp. Maybe, I don't know if he did that the first time, but things like that will obviously help. But it's still a tougher weight cut on Pettis, regardless. And there's one more thing I wanted to mention, and that is stamina. Not that Anthony Pettis has bad stamina. He has decent stamina. I would say average stamina. Max Holloway, definitely has better stamina. Not saying Max Holloway has the best stamina, or he's a top 5 guy in the UFC with the best stamina, but his stamina, I would say, is definitely noticeably better than Anthony Pettis's. So, here's some more reasons why I believe Max Holloway is going to win. And you never know. You never know what can happen. But I believe Holloway, yes, Pettis has never been stopped. But I do think Max Holloway can do that, with his precision and his persistence and his accuracy. I think he could get a late finish, 4th, 5th round finish. If he gets Holloway a little bit wobbled, he's going to totally capitalize on that, I truly believe. But Pettis is tough. He's taken some big shots. RDA didn't even finish him, so maybe not. But Max Holloway is a lot more precise than RDA. He's a smarter fighter, more cerebral. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm picking Max Holloway to win. So this is just part 2 of my first video, things I didn't say. And of course, you can never count Pettis out because he is a dangerous fighter. He just hasn't proved it lately with his finishes. He hasn't had. I think his last finish was 2013, or sorry, his last TKO. Of course he can get a submission, but I don't see him submitting Max Holloway. Max Holloway is very well rounded. His jiu-jitsu is very underrated. Plus his takedown defense is tremendous. So Pettis would have to really drop Holloway to get him to the ground, I believe. You know what I mean? Unless Max goes in for the takedown, but maybe if he's hurt, it could happen. But I think it's a very low possibility of this compared to Max Holloway winning a decision or overwhelming Pettis and maybe getting a late stoppage. Let me know what you guys think, but this is my second part of this prediction video. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. Peace.